Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Charlotte. I'm going to chop up several vegetables and stuff here. I'm going to make a coleslaw. Not a traditional coleslaw, but a sour vinegar and oil slaw. And I'm going to use my trusty Black & Decker here. So I've got some cabbage, some tired looking celery here, some of our homegrown sweet banana peppers, some onions, some tomatoes, and that lone cucumber. So as soon as I get everything washed and prepared to put in my Black & Decker, I'll be back. Oh, I'm also going to do those couple of pieces of bacon back there. I'm going to make a cream cheese spread. So I'll be back here in just a minute as soon as I get all this ready to go in the chopper. Okay, here we go, folks. I've got my peppers. I de-seeded my peppers, but I wasn't real OCD about it because if some of the seeds got in there, that's okay. I cut my onions in quarters so that they would fit into my chute in my food processor. I washed my tired old celery there. I got my tomatoes all washed. I got my cabbage cut to the right size, and there's my cucumber, which I am going to let it drain a little bit. I got my Black & Decker here. Had the little insert there on the bottom. It comes off for easy cleaning. Let me put my bowl on. And since I am going to do the onions first, there will be onions. I'm going to make several dishes out of this stuff once it's cut up. Since my onions are going to go in everything, I'm going to do my onions first. So I'm going to put my little insert. And since I quartered my onions, I'm going to use the slicing part of the blade. So the blade, here's the slicing part of the blade here. That'll go up. Now just a second, I'm going to secure this and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got it all nice and set up and sturdy. I'm going to turn it on, and the first thing I'm going to do is my onions. So my onions are done, and let me take them out of the food processor and I'll go to my next item. Okay, so there's my onions all sliced up. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Next I'm going to do these peppers because there will be peppers and everything. This time, okay, I'm going to set up my Black & Decker here. This time I want to use these little, I want to shred them. So I'm going to use the little, make sure the little shreds are up. So let me get the lid snapped on and I'll be right back. Now if you notice, I did not wash out my food processor here. There's no reason to, because everything here is going to be mixed. So now with the peppers. Okay, I did forget to do this one pepper, so I'm going to stick it in and turn it back on. Oops, that was pulse, sorry. It has a pulse button and an on button. I actually hit the pulse button. I want to turn it on. So there's the peppers finished. Let me get them into the bowl and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my peppers in there. So now the next thing I'm going to do is the celery. And I'm going to mix the celery in with the cabbage because they're both pretty much the same and they're both going to go in the same thing I have. I've got one little tomato here, one little green tomato, and I'm going to put it in with the cabbage. For the cabbage, again, I want to shred it, so I'm going to make sure the shredding blade part is up. So I'm going to put this little thing in. Make sure my shredding blade is up. And just a second, let me put the lid on. Okay, there, I've got the lid on. And notice again, I didn't rinse it because there's no sense in it. It's all going to go in the same. So now I'm going to do my cabbage. Now notice with my cabbage, I'm going to have to use my plunger here that comes with it. So, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this cabbage up. I've got all this cabbage here to do. I'm going to go ahead and finish this cabbage up and then I'll be back. Something I wanted to bring up before I finished up here. Here's the cabbage. Look how good. Oh my. Is that going to be good? Before I finish up here is a lot of people, when they cut their cabbage up for coleslaw or whatever they make their cabbage out of, their cabbage, excuse me, they'll throw the core away. I don't throw the core away. Core. Let me get my tongue straight here. I don't throw the core away. I think the core tastes good. I remember as a kid sitting around the table, and when my mama, I call her grandma, when she was cutting up the cabbage to make whatever she was going to make out of it, she always cut the core out, and I got to eat it, and I always thought it was good. So I use the core. The core is shredded up in here with the cabbage. It's good. There's no sense in throwing it out. So now I'm going to do my celery and this lone little green tomato, and I'll be back. Okay, so there's my celery done. All I've got left now is that cucumber and those tomatoes. Well, the cucumber and the tomatoes are going to be the last thing because the cucumber will be the last thing because the cucumber is not going to go in everything. The tomatoes can, it doesn't matter. So, and they're so juicy, so I figured I'd wait for them last, the cucumber last and then the tomato. So I'm going to turn my blade over. This time I want, instead of the shredding blade, I want the slicing blade for my tomatoes and my cucumber. So just a second, let me put the lid on and I'll be right back. Okay, now I do believe my tomatoes will fit in the chute, so let's try. Yeah, they will, so no problem there. I still may have to use my plunger on them, but here goes the tomatoes. Tomatoes are done. I'm going to take them out of the food processor and then we'll do the cucumber. Okay, there I got my tomatoes done. Now my cucumber, again I've got my slicing blade facing up because I want my cucumber to be sliced. So here we go. And as you can see, that took no time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that cucumber drain for a little bit. I am not going to add salt to help it drain. I'm just going to let it drain. I did not de-seed that cucumber. I did take the green skin off because I found that sometimes, not always, but sometimes that skin can be bitter. In the particular thing I'm going to use the cucumber for, I didn't want to fiddle with that bitter or possibly bitter taste. Now, if I'm just eating cucumbers and I'm slicing them up, 90% of the time I'll leave the skin on them. But for this particular thing, I didn't leave the skin on because I didn't want it on. So just a second, we'll be right back and we'll do an overview of everything we've chopped up here. Okay, so here's an overview of everything we've done. Here's the cucumbers. They were done on the slicing blade. Nice slices there. They're going to drain there for a minute. Here's my cabbage. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Did this on the shredding blade. Perfect shredded cabbage. Here's my tomatoes. I did them on the slicing blade. As you can see, perfect for what I'm going to use them for. I'm going to make a coleslaw, sour slaw. But look at there, perfect. My onions, just right. Here's my celery. Now it is a little stringy, so there's a couple of strings in there. But for what I'm going to use it for, this is just fine. Here's all them peppers. I did them on the shredding blade. Perfect. So there's me using that Black & Decker again. I tell you what. Now stay tuned. That's the end of this video. But I'm going to make another video showing my salad. And I'm going to make another video showing how I make stuffed mushrooms. So look for my other two videos.